activity. Again, still focused on defending in the defensive third, primarily focused on the tactical principles of the back four and the goalkeeper and key player actions and their connection. So as we talked about before, ideally 5 to 8 yards between horizontal distances between each defender. Goal serves as the reference point. It's 8 yards, right? So center back shouldn't be further apart than the goalpost, right? Looking at denying central penetration first, forcing the ball wide, and providing cover and balance at all times. So now again, a little bit of an unopposed opposed combo activity here, just to focus on the principles, right? So we'll talk later how we can actually build this into a training session. So we could have polls. These could be players. We could have a live player 9 here, or this again could be another mannequin, depending on if we're working on, just with our back four and goalkeeper and it's a IDP type session, or if this is a live session. Of course, we can make these players live, right? In the first round, they might be, kind of shadow-based players where they just circulate the ball, and then we build them into being live from there. So again, in this instance, looking at, okay, the 10 has the ball free about 25, 30 yards from our goal, assuming they've broken our 6 and they're advancing forward. So how do we deal with this, right? Before we talked about the 4, the 5, whoever's closer stepping. So if the 5 in this instance steps, again, don't really have time to bend our run to cut off the pass to the 9 or bend our run here. It's going to have to be we step quickly, yard or 2 away. We break down into our defensive stance as we talked about. I'll have some other videos showing the details of that. But sideways on, balanced, ready to sprint, ready to explode, not diving in, and we're ready to move with the attacker's kind of shifts. As that 5 steps, we see these gaps opening. So we're going to ask the 3 to pinch in to provide cover, 4 pinches in to provide cover, kind of on this shoulder of the 9, and then 2 providing cover and balance on this side. So again, 5 to 8 yards, probably more closer to 5 to yards between the 2 and the 4 here. Between 5 to 8 yards of the 3 and the 4 can be a little bit bigger distance because the 5's cover shadow is protecting this pass into the 9 and protecting this penetration here. Cover shadow, if you're not sure what it means, it just means the player can't pass the ball directly through the 5 because they would intercept it. So the shadow behind them means basically this space can't be played into. All right, so in this instance, we've hopefully denied central penetration, denied the ball kind of into the 9. So we realize the ball is probably going to go out wide. So as this ball shifts across to the 11 in this instance, we're asking the 2 to step out without diving in. Good defensive individual actions. 4 to go provide cover. 5 is quickly recovering. And then, as we talked about last time, body position open, but hips are turned to sprint, and we're sprinting into this area. And then again, reopening body position to make sure we see any runners come in. And then 3 pinching in, providing cover and balance. So this 9 can't drift off behind the 5 and have a free header on goal, right? So now when we're in this instance, 2's trying to deny central penetration. If this player is right-footed and cuts in, can 2 kind of drive them back? Can 4 provide cover so it's not a 1v1? If they try to drive line and take them on, can they keep them on the line, not allow them to cut back, deny the cross without diving in? Okay, 4 is providing all this cover on this side, 5 protecting the near post, 3 protecting central and back post, and just being aware of runners coming, right? If in a real game setting, we had an overload coming where the 7 is sliding here, 9 is stepping to here, and the 10's coming. Now we need communication from our 1, from our 3, right? Where in this instance, our 3 might have to drop, 5 might have to get deeper, and we pinch our 4 in a bit and leave that isolation, right? And deal with kind of these numbers into here. Hopefully we would have trailing midfielders as well. But for this instance, we're just working on kind of principles, player actions, behaviors, right? And that kind of shifting process. So we would have shouted, shift right? We're communicating who's getting out to the ball, showing left, showing right, being loud in our communication and making sure we're not leaving anything up to chance. As this ball shifts again, now who's looking to step out? In this case, if it's our 5, our 4 is pinching quickly to deny any ball into the 9. 3 is balancing slightly. 2, again, body position. So chest is open to see the runner, but hips are turned to sprint, right? And then body position open to see any runners any penetrating ball. So if the 11's trying to go here and they're looking for this type of ball, 2's able to cut that off, 4's able to cut that off, hopefully denying the ball into the 9 with our cover shadow from 5, positioning of 3 and 4. So we know most likely it's going to go wide again, which now signal for our 3 to get out, right? Same principles, yard or 2 away, break down, 5 recovers into this space, 4 recovers maybe in between the goalkeeper and the near post, 2 recovering here, okay? So in essence, we're trying to deny the ball to the 9, deny any free shots on top of the box. If they're going to take a crack from 30 yards out and we have, some pressure on the ball, we just got to be okay with that in a 4v4 type situation, right? So this would be the principles we're looking for. As we start to build this into more of a live action activity, you're going to start to see this ball maybe come into the 10, our 10 driving forward with it here. So we're looking to, again, close down the space, deny a clear shot, slide into this spaces, balance here. We're now, as the ball gets closer to our goal, our spacing must get tighter. So we're denying the actual goal, denying central penetration, right? And as these balls are traveling wide, right, if the 2 can't get out to the 11, we're at least protecting these spaces, right? We're getting into here to protect kind of the goal, these services in, right? But our body position's open, so we can see the 9 slashing, cut across and deny. If the 11 drives into this space as the 2's starting to slide out, and they're looking for these types of cutbacks, right? Can we get, whether it's the 4 or the 5, close enough where they can not win the ball, but block the shot? And again, even if you're 2 or 3 yards away, they're not going to shoot the ball through you. So the key is in these moments not diving in and allowing the 10 to cut you, and now they're free and wide open and sliding across. And obviously if they're able to switch the point of attack again and get into the space, we're repeating. So making sure we have good cover, starting to slide out once we have the key areas of the zones protected, front post, kind of middle zone, cutback, and back post. Goalkeeper protecting these areas. Now the 3 can start to slide out. But again, if we're positioned here, most likely across into the space, we're going to be the ones attacking that. So how can we re-emphasize how to shift when we're caught in these scenarios and we're overloaded? Patience, but an urgency to close down the center and to make sure our lines are extremely tight horizontally.